Tears of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me. Songs of Mother Goddess and of Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Thank you all for joining tonight. We are being broadcast live on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live, and also in YouTube World. Hello, YouTube. Waving at you. If you are listening in on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to hear more of me and make sure you're getting the alerts and everything, make sure you hit the little bell button and subscribe. Because, you should. Just saying. No matter how you are listening, make sure you do stop in and say hello. Because I want to know if you're here. So say hello. If you send me an email, that's great too. It's wildpaisley@gmail.com. That's WILDEPAISLEY@gmail.com. And I will respond back and say thank you for sending me an email. At least I try to. You can check out the podcast. Any place you can find a podcast, like iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, that kind of thing. And if you want to support the show, that would be awesome. 2 thumbs way up. The Patreon is patreon.com/thespacesbetween, or the Etsy shop is etsy.com/shop/Monarch Mountain Studio, and Mountain is MTN. So hello. I see we've got Justin and Interesting and Hilarious in TFR. And in YouTube chat, we've got a bunch of people. I see Aussie Tiger, Deb Varner. Hi, Deb. Elaine, Clifford, Ethan, Justin, Renee, Tanya, and Titan. And if I missed you, I'm sorry. Hello. So I hope you all are having just a lovely evening. Hi, Gemini. Here it is, a little chilly in North Idaho, although it seems like it's pretty chilly across the whole country right now. Just a little bit. I know I have family on the East Coast, and they had snow this morning or today, which is kind of funny because there are some parts of the world where it's, or in the U.S. at least, where if it snows or pretends to snow, or there might be a forecast to snow, everybody goes and takes a nap because it's too scary to drive. Hi, Naysay. And it's kind of hilarious because it's just snow, guys. You slow down, you take your time, you don't hurry. And if you don't want the snow or don't want to drive in it, stay home. I didn't send you the snow, Deb. I'm sorry. I actually like snow, and I would have been fine with it staying. But my forecast says it's supposed to warm up, and there is a potential for 50-degree weather by next weekend, and I'm so excited about that because I want a garden. Yes, I want a garden. Hey, Bomber. So, we shall see. Let's see. The call line is open tonight. It is 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, it is 44203-393-2871. And if you call in and I don't respond, I'm sorry. Just send me a message and poke at me a little bit. So, anyways, tonight I got to thinking that maybe we should talk about what is a spell or a hex or a curse or a blessing. What is that? I mean, seriously. Often when someone finds out that you are on the pagan path or a witch, the very first question they ask is, oh, or assumption, I should say. The very first assumption is, oh, you worship the devil. And no, I don't, actually. That's not my gig. That's not my jam. That's not He's not one of my peeps. So no, I don't. I don't worship the devil. But, that's the assumption is, witches worship the devil because that's what mainstream media says. That's what the Christian church says. And yeah, not really true. So the next assumption or question is, well, do you do spells? And, often witches do spells. It's kind of something that happens. Ritual spell work, yep. Um, but most people don't really know what that means. So I figured maybe we talk about it just a little bit tonight. And the difference between a hex and a curse and that kind of thing. So, yeah. And generally, a spell in its most simple form is just a wish or desire to bring about a change, either in your life or someone else's. And you add to that wish your very own will, your intent, your belief, and your energy that you will make it happen. I mean, pretty straightforward. So, yeah, that's basically what it is. In a way, I suppose if you're having a hard time wrapping your head around it, a spell is like a Christian prayer. In reality, it is very similar. You have a process to it. You have steps to it. There's structure to it. There's a greeting, a petition, and a closing, basically. And very similar to a lot of spell work or ritual work is, beginning, middle, and end. And yeah, it's just kind of, the basics of it. So yeah, very similar. Very, very similar. So, what is a, what was my next thought here? So, now, spells can refer to the specific words that you might say, or it can describe being under the influence of certain words that you might say. So, like, if someone casts a spell on you, I'm sure you've heard it. Anybody who's ever watched a chick flick romance novel or chick flick or romance movie or read a romance novel or anything like that, especially if there's anything kind of paranormal about it. Ooh, I'm under your spell. And it, hey, MCAT, drive safe in all the snow. And, but yeah, it's, I don't know, it's a thing. I cast a spell on you, I'm under your spell. It's a slang thing, often, I don't know where it came about, as far as being associated with, romance or being smitten with someone. But it's a thing. I have to look into that because I'm curious now. So, basically, what is a hex? Well, a hex is kind of like you're casting a spell on someone or you're bewitching someone. Pretty straightforward. It's just a different type of spell. A curse is often considered a solemn utterance intended to invoke a supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. And then a blessing, for instance, is you're asking a god or spirit's favor for protection or goodwill. And if you are Wiccan or if you follow certain traditions, hexing and cursing are absolute no-nos. They're too dark. They're black magic. And they try to, blessings, love and light and all that. And I feel magic in general is pretty gray because a hex, curse, blessing, for me, my interpretation, it's all about me, right? So this is, my interpretation is they're all the same doggone thing, really, truly. Honestly, I mean, if you bless someone with long life, say, hey, you know what? You're an awesome person. I'm going to bless you with long life. I hope you live for the next 200 years. Okay. To you, that may seem like a blessing, but that person who has to survive those 200 years, for instance, will see their loved ones grow up, grow old, die, and then the next generation be born, grow up, grow old, die, and this cycle keeps continuing. So, but they're stuck, and they can't die, for instance, for that 200 years. Using just kind of an extreme situation here. Um, would that be a curse or a blessing if they see, you know, they just see all their loved ones, live and die, live and die, live and die, and you know, is that a blessing or a curse? Chat room, Ethan just asked about love spells. And, well, generally speaking, the best love spells to ever do are the ones you do on yourself. Love yourself first. Be the person that you want to be be loved. But generally speaking, no. I don't think it's okay to do love spells on someone else, mostly because you're taking away their free will, and that's not okay. But stop and think about it. If you bless someone with a love spell, it's like, I bless this union, bless this marriage, whatever, and you invoke the gods, you do a big ritual, and two people love each other a lot. You've blessed them. Okay, these same two people. What if person A really, really loves and is infatuated with person B? Person B decides that's not who they really want to be with after X period of time, for instance, and they seek to end the relationship. And person A is very that love becomes obsession, and they decide choose or start treating you like a possession and ownership, and that they don't want to let you go. And so an abusive situation starts happening, whether they're physically abusive, mentally abusive, emotionally abusive, trying to keep ownership and possession of person B. At the very beginning of this, it started out as a blessing. But at the end of this relationship, whatever the resolution is here, whether person B gets out and moves on or not, or if it gets really bad, it ends up being a curse. So is it a blessing or a curse? That's part of the reason why when I talk about doing spell work or ritual work at all, make sure you're really doing some meditation and you really know what your intention is and what the end result needs to be. Because the phrase, it's trite, but it's true, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Oh, yeah, it is. And it doesn't really matter, what path you're on. You set your intention, you got good intentions for this result. Yep, sure. What about those unintended consequences? Hey, I wish I came into some money, and I'm going to set my intention that I'm going to come into some wealth and riches, and that'll be great. And instead of winning the lottery like you thought, hi Don, someone passes and you receive an inheritance. And so yeah, you came into some money, but it's because a loved one passed. That's not really, the unintended consequence of your wish or your desire or your intention. So really, really make sure you are focusing on that intention. What is your goal? What is it you're trying to achieve? Journal it. I mean, seriously. And look at it from all points of view. For me, I think it's really important to really be aware of not just the consequences that will probably happen or could happen, but the ones you don't think about, whether it's the butterfly effect, or pebble effect. You drop a pebble in in a mud puddle, and the ripples come out and they come back and they come out and they come back. And what was really the consequence here? I know, like where I'm at, during the spring especially, when there's a lot of rainfall, a lot of the lake is up or the river is up, we have no wake zones up close to the banks of the lake and the rivers, because they don't want erosion to happen because someone's going too fast. It's the same kind of thing. You drop them that pebble in the water. Okay, I'm using the analogies don't mesh very well, I suppose. But no, seriously, if you drop that pebble in the water, what is it that you're going to erode that you can't necessarily see? So yeah, pay attention. And I think for me, and again, this is all about me, right? Hey, Julia, how's it going? Um, you know, whatever it is your focus is for your ritual or your spell, yeah, you need to pay attention to it, because your words give form to the thought and the idea, and I think that's part of the reason why contracts came about, written contracts, because those words, those written words, are giving form to the potential relationship and interaction between two or more people or two or more groups or organizations. Similar with a spell. It's not necessarily a contract between yourself and whomever it is you're seeking the the benefit or the blessing, the will, I guess, of the deity you're petitioning or spirit or entity or whatever it is. So you need to pay attention to that. Yes, I agree, MCAT. Yeah, that oral tradition, who knows how old that is. So generally, if you're doing a spell or a ritual, a hex, curse, any of that stuff, I'm going to use spell as a generic word right now. It is a formula with a beginning, a middle, and a close. It may involve spoken, written, or chanted words, symbolism, candles, bathing, of course, ritual bathing. You can burn incense or herbs, powders, salts, dusts, any of that stuff, combination of any of it, charms, amulets, pretty much, yeah, anything, talismans. So just real quick, MCAT, do you ever notice that they don't really pay attention or state how much time passes between Genesis 1 and Genesis 2? Because just it sounds like two entirely different stories, or introductions to two different stories. So, yeah. So yeah, just anyways, side note. And the purpose of spells are often very varied. It can be like wish fulfillment, excuse me, banishing, drive away. So, is it a curse or a jinx or a hex if you're trying to banish negative influences around you? Or is it a blessing to yourself? You need to really pay attention to it. So if you are a specific tradition, I do recommend you speak to someone who is of more authority in that particular tradition. But are you blessing good luck on someone or bad luck? Because if someone gets too much good luck, it looks like they're not necessarily doing the right thing. Maybe they're being illegal. I know, like, for instance, if you go to the casino and you're winning a lot of money at cards and it seems like your luck is just spot on, well, often they will start watching you a little closer because they're like, all right, are they really this lucky? Or are they cheating the system somehow? So too much good luck brings negative attention. So is blessing someone with good luck a blessing or a curse? Remember, words have power. You can do bindings. You can bind people, spirits, entities, of course. And so, sticks and stones. So hex itself, that very word, it's Germanic in its origin. Hexencraft basically is witchcraft, and it's often associated with the number 6, hexagon, so hex, 666. There's all those relationships, but often hexes have been used in the past to draw love to something. They can symbolize or strengthen a marriage, or it can actually, break a curse. So even though a hex is considered negative, has a negative association with it. Hey, Don. If you hex a curse, you're breaking the curse. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? You just need to really pay attention to, the intent. Now, other cultures have different words for hexes, and I'll go into that as in a bit. But often like hoodoo, for instance, or voodoo, vaudoon, hex means to curse or magically harm. So you need to just, again, it goes back to that tradition. What path are you on? And it's not necessarily, because they don't believe in those things or they don't want those to be a part of them. It's just their verbiage is different, their rules are different, the structure within that tradition is different. So, so when it comes to hexing specifically, there is some assumed. Yes, Titan, I have my gloves on. I'm cold. I also have my heat pack, and I'm bundled up in a blanket. So yes, I'm cold. So when it comes to hexing, what your intent? What is it? Why? Because like with Wicca, for instance, and it harm none. Do as you will, and it harm none, or something like that. Mostly because they feel that hexing is, pretty negative. But partly because there's some concern that maybe they don't understand the consequence of that hex. So just be aware. And again, that's why I talk to your spiritual guide leaders. If you are, in a particular tradition, there's all sorts of information out there. So let's see here. There are ways to protect yourself against hexes, negative hexes. Now, bad luck. If you have bad luck, that doesn't mean you've been hexed. It may mean that you just have bad luck. That does happen, honestly. Seriously, it does happen. You can just do a simple cleanse. Often, a cleansing ceremony with salt to purify yourself can rinse that energy from you, that negative energy. So in a way, I know some people do a cleansing ceremony pretty much often. It's like daily, especially if you're in a really negative environment. Anybody, if you go to work, you have a bad day, because it happens. I know it does. We all do it. And you get home and you're like, it's a bad day. And you take a shower, and you get out of the shower because you're rinsing the bad day away. And you get out of the shower and you're having a good evening. Everything's great. The day is totally different. And you feel differently. You just feel good. So that negative energy, often it becomes this funk that we just drag around with us. We need to have that ritual cleansing, not just to get rid of a hex or a curse or anything like that, but just to cleanse ourselves and leave that stuff away. So let's see here. What was my next thought? Because I had more thoughts, and I should probably remember y'all. Remind y'all that the phone number is 213-233-3998, or if you want to send me an email, it's wildpaisley@gmail.com. That's WILDEPAISLEY@gmail.com. So let's see. Dawn just mentioned in the chat room that her mom buried a pair of her brother's shoes facing away from the front door when he moved out. And he moved out. And yeah, that's kind of setting the intention, needs to move out, if you need to, maybe you have a toxic relationship and with a friend or a coworker, and you no longer want that relationship, you can do a cord cutting ceremony or cord cutting ritual, where you are one end of the cord and the other person is the other end of the cord, and you literally cut the cord, pair of scissors, burn it, whatever is necessary for you to sever that relationship so you can move on. That's a good thing. So just, I don't know, I suppose I could do a cord cutting ritual at some point. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow night. We'll see. Anyways, we're about to go to break. And we will be right back. And I guess I'll talk a little bit more about spells and hexes and curses and blessings and such when we come back. And Dawn, I'll go back to that just a little bit when we come back. So see you guys in a few, if I can remember which button to push.
Masters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me. Songs of Mother Goddess and of Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Well, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. So, just before break, Dawn mentioned that in the chat room that her mom buried her brother's shoes facing away from the door out in the yard, and he then moved out. She also lit some candles and did a lot of prayer work and stuff. And often, um, there's a lot of mixing messages and metaphors with a lot of the different faiths in reality. I mean, look at, for instance, Day of the Dead, very much a day of remembering your ancestors and the spirits that have passed, and those that have passed. In addition, with a very heavy dose of Catholicism mixed together. So, often there's some commingling of paths and ideas. And I guess perhaps as an eclectic pagan or eclectic witch, I feel that, if it feels right, do it when it comes to your rituals to get something accomplished. Because sometimes you just have to. And, it's frustrating. And then I see more in the conversation here. There's someone else that's got some stuff going on. To protect a sibling who doesn't want to see the way. Oh, happy birthday, Aussie. Like 10 days too late. I'm not very good at remembering birthdays. I have like 6 calendars and I still forget things. I have a hard time remembering my own birthday. It's in October, favorite month of the year, and I still forget. So yeah, to help the sibling that's not listening or not realizing that there's an issue. That's hard. Again, it's hard to change someone's free will, but you can do some salt in the corners of the house and a blessing upon her for clarity of vision. But remember, a lot of that kind of thing is an addiction, Bomber and Elaine. And even though it doesn't feel like it or look like it, that need to fix or need to help is in its own way a type of addiction. So yeah, it's hard. Focus your intent, let her know you love her, support her, and sometimes you have to let people fall completely before you can help them pick up and do better and heal and grow. So I don't know. On the one hand, that's not a lot of help, and I'm sorry, but there is a potential if you do like a mirror under someone's bed, or pillow. Generally bed. You can go get the mirror at the dollar store, and you put it like under where their head is on the pillow, and you can do insignia in like salt water or moon water on the glass or whatever. There's a couple different things you can do there. It's kind of what feels right. But that mirror should reflect the negative energies that are being directed at her, or those demanding presences that are the narcissistic tendencies that are targeting her. I don't know. Maybe shoot me an email and we can talk about it offline just a little bit. So yeah, do your research before you commit to something. Seriously. And just because I say it might be a good idea, it might work for me, it might not work for you. So just do your your thing. And yeah, goodness, Bomber, that's rough. I'm sorry. Um, that's hard. Um, sounds like someone needs a different kind of blessing or discussion. So getting back to it. Um, let's see, where was I? Boop loop. When it comes to a curse or a hex, um, one of the things to think about or to ponder before you commit to it is the person that is the recipient or the target. Do you want them to stay in your life or the life of your loved one? And if the answer is no, an equivocal no, like no doubts, no hesitation, no what ifs, or anything like that, then that's a one thing. Do you want the person just to learn that lesson? Hey, shame on you for being that naughty person, or cheaters, or whatever. Um, you know, someone who you want to have learn a lesson is a different approach than someone who you want to hex and have removed from the picture completely. Now, something that you do need to take into account is you need to be willing to be responsible for any energetic or physical harm that might come to them as a result of the curse or the hex. And this is true for any spell work, whether it's because you need to be aware, not just the potential negative or the ripple effect, the unexpected consequences and everything. If there's something you can't foresee that could happen as a result of your spell, are you still willing to be responsible for any harm that's going to be as a result of that spell? This way, shows like Charmed, the first go round, in some ways was, they had a spell for everything. Ooh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to clean the house. Or, ooh, I'm going to do that. Or, you wave your magic wand, Harry Potter, and, do the dishes or clean the floor or straighten Hermione's hair or whatever. Whatever the pro is that you're trying to achieve, you need to remember there is a potential for the negative, and you need to be willing to be responsible for whatever that negative is. Now, another thing that we need to be aware of, whether, are you willing to accept that the person that you're targeting with your spell work could change, is going to change, possibly in an unpleasant way or in a way you did not anticipate as a result of your spell work, your ritual work? Because, often, again, that road to hell is paved with good intentions. People change. If you focus your intent and your energy, even though you're wanting to do this positive thing for someone, and bless them, well, sometimes they can go overboard, or they can absorb too much of it, or they're too open to that change. And it's possible that overconfidence, they could be overconfident in their success for a new business venture, even though they have no reason to be confident. That invention really isn't an invention, or something like that, because that happens. They invest, their life savings, and take a mortgage out on the house, and invest into this business that's doomed to fail and they lose the house and become homeless, even though you wanted them to be successful and have confidence. What's Are you willing to still be able to accept the repercussions and know that that person will change?
Hmm.
Um, and because what if there's a side effect? So say you put a hex on someone or a curse on someone, and they either wear charms or some sort of protective something or other, and it glances off that person, and instead of hitting them or is targeted at them, it hits one of their loved ones, like a child. Are you willing to?
How the hell would that happen?
What do you mean?
What exactly do you mean? It glances off them and hits someone else.
So say someone wishes you ill.
Yep.
They want you to just.
Oh, but it's not so much glance at it. It's the non-specific ill, which could point to a child dying or something like that.
Or getting sick.
Or getting sick. Okay.
Yeah.
I went very ballistic on it, but still.
Yeah,
the point.
You escalated quickly there. Hey, everybody, Don joined. So yeah, it's just, be aware of your potential consequences of what you're going to do. That's why doing ritual work on someone, especially without their consent, or like trying to do a spell for your best friend's cousin who's getting ready to graduate from high school and looking for a job. If you don't know them, how are you going to help them directly? That's partly why I think we get a bad name, witches and pagans, just because we do things and people assume it's a bad thing. So, I don't know. Don, Mr. Don,
Yes.
the Longbeard, what are your thoughts on curses and hexes and such?
I have little faith in them.
Okay.
And it's just because what you do doesn't affect me unless I allow it. If I believe or if I appreciate or, if I accept what you're doing for me, and this is a general you, it could be Bomber for that matter. If I believe that those intentions are good, I will accept it. However, if I know you don't like me, tough luck, buddy. So for me, it's a matter of perspective. It's like, you don't matter in my life, therefore you cannot affect my life. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it does make sense. I was just kind of curious because, you joined in and without saying hello or anything, you just comment.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
And Creepy Don is in the house. Yeah.
In the hizzle.
In the hizzle.
So yeah, no, I mean, I allow what people do to me to affect me. And if I don't allow it to affect me, it doesn't affect me. And, that may be kind of just generalizing the idea, but I don't accept your bad energy. I just won't. Mm-hmm. And you will not be around me. And as long as I know you're not around me, I'm absolutely happy about it. I reject your bad intention, and I accept your good intention, and I wish you good intention back. However, if you send me negative energy, well, you're not even worth my time to get my negative energy, so screw off. And that's where I sit with it. I mean, I'm not going to BS around with it. I'm not going to worry over it. I'm not going to wake up in the morning and go, "Oh, I'm cursed because I'm having a bad day." Well, I just got up. How could I have a bad day? Yeah, I get up grumpy as hell because I need coffee and food, and then things go through the day. It's like after the coffee and maybe a good big giant steak and eggs, I'm good to go. I might need a nap in a couple hours, but that's the way it works.
Nope.
But I don't wish anyone will. I will say that if I don't like somebody, I will just wish them out of my life. Mm-hmm. However that may come. I don't mean any harm to them. And that's cursing in a way. It's hexing.
Mm-hmm.
It's but and that just I wish this person would not. I just say this person will not affect my life,
Hmm.
and that's just the way it is.
Shunning is a big deal.
So shunning is harsh.
Shunning is harsh, and is it a curse? Maybe to the recipient, but
Yeah, yeah.
but it could be a blessing to the people or the person doing the shunning.
Right.
I mean, so it really is a matter of perspective. Just like I've seen in various places on social media, Facebook, Reddit, that kind of thing. Guys, you cannot accidentally curse someone.
No, you have to have intention.
Eh, yeah, there's just some things wrong with that. So, it's just some of the things I see on social media just make me want to turn off the computer and never turn it on again. Yeah, no, there is no such thing as an accidental cursing or blessing, or anything like that. If someone sneezes, you say "bless you." It's kind of a ritualistic thing in and of itself, but the origins of that actually have something to do.
Can I just say, oh, go to hell?
You could say, "Oh, go to hell." So.
Well,
So-
yeah, because it's based in the idea that if you sneeze back in the day, if you sneeze, you were expelling demons or bad energy or things like that. So you would
Exactly.
say bless you to, offer them a good intent.
Yeah, and to, once they sneeze the demon out, you say "bless you," so the demon can't go back in. Which, don't you like sneeze in threes? So are you sneezing out like 3 demons at a time? Is that what that is?
Let's not talk about my sneezing habits.
It's hilarious. It's like,
It's like, hachoo, hold on a sec. Hachoo. All right, had to shake that one out. It's
right?
Like The Exorcist.
You're a dork. But yeah, so,
Maybe that's why I sneeze in threes. Somebody's bad intention is causing me that third one. It's like, I felt that one.
you're such a goof.
So, but
So yeah, I suppose yes, that's more ritualistic. It's a social norm, societal normal
right.
anymore.
right.
To say "bless you," people don't remember the reason why you say "bless you" when someone sneezes, which so much has changed over the years and so much of that verbal history has been lost because people don't read like they used to.
What? You mean like a book?
Something with pages, yeah. I have lots of books. I even read them. And then I have a Kindle app on my phone, and I don't want to talk about how many books I have in there.
Oh my God. That's probably why my phone doesn't work so well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you should clean some history out of there.
There's a lot of history.
You and your phone. Lots of history in your phone. So, anyways, you can wear charms and things to protect yourself. I have a snowflake obsidian that I keep in my pocket.
Quartz tourmaline.
Quartz tourmaline. I have blue lace agate. Quartz in general. Any of that. So, any of that, it's whichever stones are going to fit best with you, of course, but some often have stronger traits or stronger powers, if you will. That's not the right word. Affinities, maybe that's the better word for different things. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I carry the snowflake obsidian in my pocket. I work in a place where there is often negative energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so
You think?
I try really hard to not carry that home with me. And I wash my hands obsessively there also. So
It's always, you said you were talking about how taking a shower when you get home from work is like washing away the day's negative.
mhm,
And that's just an easy thing. Before you leave work, wash your hands.
mhm.
Figuratively and literally. I just wash my hands of this place. That's what I do. I just
Mhm.
kind of go As a matter of fact, after I locked the door, I'm like, yep, done. So that's just it.
Yeah. Often those little simple things, right now there's this big scare about the coronavirus. It's in the news and the headlines and everywhere else. You know what the biggest way to prevent getting sick from any virus like that is? Wash your hands.
Well, now.
No, and don't lick other people's eyeballs.
Well, yeah, but they have also made a claim that it's gone airborne now, so.
Well, yeah, so
Now it's really a pandemic, so.
in general,
Yes, yeah, in general.
yeah, wash your hands. Don't lick other people's eyeballs. And don't sneeze in somebody else's face. That's just rude. Or cough.
Don't put into the wind.
You're
Don't
such...
tug on us.
I don't even want to know. Anyway, so yeah.
Don't mess around with Jim.
Are you going to get me a copyright
No.
strike? Okay, I'm going to throw things at you if you do.
Whatever.
I'll sick the dog on you.
Hey, look, I can't sing on the portal. Brent's like, you can't sing on the portal anymore. I'm like, damn it.
Is it original music?
The way I sing it, yeah, it's usually original. I sing it however I want. Anyhow, I'm sorry, I'm distracting from your. But yeah, you're right. To wash, even to think of a virus as a negative intention, which it kind of is in a sense. It's Mother Earth's way to say, I got to get rid of some people here.
Well, not necessarily that, but seriously, often bacteria, bugs, virus, etc.
Yeah.
That is, if you're wishing an illness on someone, everybody's grossed out about licking eyeballs.
I know.
It's great.
He was like, ew, licking eyeballs. Come here, you. I think you got a sexy eyeball.
Sorry. Hey, people are still liking the show, so that's good.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't mind
good.
the eyeballs.
We don't know why. Anyhow, get back to your show.
Yeah.
You're almost done.
Yeah, I know.
1 hour is not enough.
I know. Well, sometimes I run out of what I'm going to talk about.
True.
And that happens, so I don't know.
Enter the peanut gallery.
Yeah. So, anyways. If you're really worried about protecting yourself, yes, you can wear a charm. Not magic. I'm going to throw something at you. I have a rock.
You have a few rocks.
It's a quartz.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's about the size of
Keep
a
going.
fist.
Keep going.
Anyways,
Goodness.
rocks, stones, quartz. Ground out your negative energy.
Mm-hmm.
Hairy eyeball. Wash your hands. Take that cleansing shower when you get home. All of that. And
Salt is a good exfoliant.
salt is an excellent exfoliant. So is coffee, by the way. But Deb says throw a rock at you.
No, she says throw one for me, is what she said.
But so yeah, a little bit of cleansing goes a long way. It's not just you can sage your space. Sage smoke is very cleansing. There's beginning to be scientific studies on the benefits of sage smoke. So that's a real thing. And
They say.
so sage, yes. Salt, I'm just not even gonna look because yes, I'll be distracted again. I almost had a glass of wine. Maybe I should have. I could have focused. And
You're talking about cleansing. Come on.
cleansing. Sorry.
Dance sky clad in the moonlight.
You dance sky clad in the moonlight. If that's what does it for you. If you are cleansing your house and you're sweeping the floor, vacuuming the floor, make sure you are taking that dirt out of the house. Don't leave it in the garbage can because often that dirt is associated with negativity also. Because why would you want to, after you swept up all that negativity, why would you leave in your garbage can in the middle of your kitchen where, everybody likes to gather? So yeah, make sure you take it out. Put it in the cat box, take it away.
Put it in the cat box. Yeah, curse your cat.
and dump out the cat box. So yeah,
Oh.
It's yeah,
It's get rid of it.
you
Just
get rid of it. So just like any other negative baggage. Once you've identified that it's negative,
What the heck? Sorry. Once you identify it's negative.
figure out how to let it go. Channel your inner Elsa and let it go.
Oh boy.
And you'll feel lighter for it, and you'll feel better for it, honestly. So, any thoughts, questions, ideas? Send me an email. It's wildpaisley@gmail.com. WILDEPAISLEY@gmail.com. Who's next?
Duke. Duke's
Hey,
next.
Duke is next.
No, Duke.
No,
No, Duke's tomorrow.
Duke's tomorrow. Who's next? What's next?
I don't know.
Oh, there's a mystery.
I so apologize.
All right, so stay tuned on TFR for the next adventure. Then we'll see you tomorrow night. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again.
Good intentions to your friend, Bomber.
Yes.
Sends
sister.
loves. Oh, sister.
Yes.
Ah.
Have a
Good
good night,
night.
you guys.
Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree. I